Let's go! Oh no! Oh yeah, Mario time! Huh. Let's go!
โ
Oh yeah, Mario time! Oh yeah!